There we are. Who are those good looking guys?
Not me, definitely.
We got to get you one of these.
That would be cool. Maybe it would help me with water intake.
Let's move that chair next to you. See it? Just turn it. Get it out of our shot. Yeah.
You're not live.
That's the look. Oh no, we're live.
Okay.
They're hearing us. They're hearing us. They're seeing us.
What's going on, everybody?
How's everybody doing? Rocking and rolling, I hope. Really quick, if you can, we've enabled the Q&A today to make sure that we're able to answer everybody's questions. Just let me know in the Q&A that you can hear us though. Just because we want to make sure that that the sounds pretty clear.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I see them coming in. Shout out to Marie and Andrew.
Karina, Christian, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's week's going well.
I'm gonna steal this.
I don't know if we have any football fans here, but now that football's back, there's something to look forward to on the weekends again. So if you like baseball, we don't want to talk about that here in New York with what's taking place in our organizations.
That's fair enough. We don't even really want to talk about football either, but that's besides the point. Tim does. The Vikings play tonight?
Yeah, they do, but they're not going to win, so there's nothing to talk about.
Tim's a Viking fan. Anybody else out there a Viking fan?
Comes from my Norwegian heritage, actually.
It's because you are our resident Viking.
I'm a junior Viking. I'm in the junior program.
There's nothing junior about you, but I see we got a lot of interaction in here in the Q&A already, so this is awesome.
What's up, Richard? What's up, Andrew? How's it going, Chris?
We got the Rugby World Cup in France. Wow, some real tackling taking place. Love it. Oh, Niners fan. We got a Niners fan. Might be their year.
It is. It's gonna be.
It might be their year.
Fred Warner is my favorite player in the NFL.
Is he?
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Rams, people are sleeping on the Rams. I feel like they kind of forgot about them after last season, but they still got a great roster outside of injuries.
Yeah, it's all everybody's talking about their quarterback these days playing over in Detroit. Jared Goff, right? So, once he made the move, everybody's kind of gone with him. I promise you this isn't a football podcast as much as I would like it to be. We are going to get down and dirty with the alternative funding
world per se.
Yeah, with the alternative funding industry and insights, and really today's whole webinar, guys, is about the ROK Referral Partner Program. Believe it or not, but we've originated what it means to be a referral partner in this industry. There was other people that might have been doing some referral business in the past, but as far as when it comes to systems, process, sales support, and just general knowledge of what it means to be a good partner, bar none, you got the best team out there here for you, ready to rock and roll and break it down for you.
And honestly, if you end up working with us after this, great. Even if you don't, take away some of the referral partner conversation that comes from this, just because no matter what it is that you do, getting referrals in the business that you do is only going to help you grow.
Oh, absolutely. I talk about this with all my friends who own businesses. How do you leverage the network that you're building to drive you more business? Right. It could be your customers, right? That's where this all started for us. Was our first layer of referrals came from our customers. And then we realized, hey, a lot of our customers are already being declined by their bank. Let's go try to partner with some banks. And we started there. And now, I mean, pretty much every industry in terms of B2B has utilized this platform some way, shape, or form. I mean, staffing companies to consultants to people that do merchant processing, credit repair, CPAs, bookkeepers. I mean, you name it. There's people that do everyday jobs like construction and even some specialized constructions that will refer us their clients that are business owners. If you're somebody that works with business owners in any capacity, you could be a partner with ROK Financial. So if you're unfamiliar with kind of the flow of these things, we always like to BS, for lack of a better term, for a couple of minutes to get started. Give everybody the chance to join the presentation. We'll do a quick little slideshow. I don't know exactly how many slides. I think it's like 15 or 16 slides today. Nothing too crazy. But basically, at the end of this, we will open up for a live Q&A. So if you are already familiar with the Q&A, please continue to use that. That's where we're going to pull all of our questions from at the end. There are also we're also going to go in order of those questions, right? So if you are somebody that asks a question first, we'll start right at the top of this thing when we are able to get to those questions.
And as we're going through the slides, feel free to shoot your question out. In the instance you might not remember it later on, feel free to just pop it right in the chat as soon as it comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give it another second or two because we're at 99 people and I really wanted to say 100. I think it's 99. Let's give it another second or two. No, I'm just kidding.
100 will come.
We can get rocking and rolling, guys. I'm going to share my screen. We'll do this quick presentation and then we're at 101. Look at that, 101. They knew I needed them.
Timing's everything. Patience is virtue. So
we're going to share our screen, get presenting here, and basically rock out. Welcome to Empower and Earn, navigating ROK's partnership program for business funding success. It's really going to be, guys, all about ROK. No, I'm just kidding. It's all about you guys. But really quick, Tim and I wanted to take a chance to introduce ourselves and what we do. And basically my role here at ROK is partner support. Tim's role here at ROK is direct partner relations, right? So when we're updating our portal or we're getting you guys more marketing material, that's my stuff. When you guys have deals, questions, concerns,
I'm ready for
comp, that's all Tim. That's Tim and his team. You guys have probably been working with his team if you are somebody that has worked with us. And if you haven't worked with us in the past, you'll be working with Tim and his team directly. Feel free to jot down our contact info. We'd love to stay in contact with you. A little bit about ROK Financial, and Tim, obviously feel free to interrupt. I'll be quiet here before long. But a little bit about ROK Financial. We were birthed out of necessity. What was the need? The need was funding for small business owners. Essentially, this company started back in like the 07, 08 recession, when businesses were not the only people not getting money, but banks had stopped lending money altogether. You couldn't get a mortgage, you couldn't get a line of credit, you couldn't get a credit card. So what was there? Well, there was still business happening. There was still an economy. It's not like there wasn't an economy. It just happened to be slow moving because banks weren't helping out. That rose a need for businesses that were utilizing working capital to continue to do so. And this will always be the case with small business, right? And even medium and large size businesses. It's not just a small business thing, it's a business thing. Money makes money. I don't know if anybody's ever heard that saying before, but that's what this is. We invest in opportunity and really allowing business owners to take advantage of opportunities that they see, as well as helping them solve challenges in their business. So that's really what we are, and what we do is we help business owners gain access to funding, and really do that through our streamlined process and rockstar team. And that's pretty much us in a nutshell.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, over the past few years, our goal has been pretty clear: to help the underserved community of businesses that are out there that aren't getting access to traditional levels of financing that is available. We've gone through pandemics, we've gone through recessions, we've gone through economic downturns, but one thing that seems to be tried and true is the fact that there's always going to be needs for capital to grow a respective business. Whether the bank's allocating that capital or a company like ROK Financial is allocating that capital, we were able to come to task and build out a platform here that, like Tony mentioned, streamlines the application process and makes it seamless for business owners to access alternative forms of financing where traditional options aren't available.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, they'll always be traditional, and as long as there's traditional, there'll be an alternative. I always like to point out the team, and because that without the team, we would be nothing. We get to the chance to sit in front of, now 116, it looks like, participants, as well as the countless people that'll watch this after this. But it's really everybody from operations to marketing to accounting, which will get you guys all paid, I promise, as well as all of our sales teams, production, technology, and everything in between. We're a family here at ROK. If you guys follow us on social media at all, I'm sure you see us, having fun with each other, or if you've ever had the chance to meet us, or if we've gotten the chance to meet you, I'm sure you've kind of felt that. When people come into our office, they're like, I don't know what it is about you. And I just say, it's electric
Culture.
when you walk in, and it's a big culture thing. I don't love the culture word just because that's the buzzword that everybody has put around it. We've had that long before culture was a thing. But it's electric. You can feel it. It's something that's certainly there. I mean, just in the room right now, we have Lauren and Christina from marketing that are behind the scenes helping make this happen. So shout out to the rock stars that are really getting it done. They'll be who you're doing business with. Yeah, Tim and I might get a chance to talk with you a couple times, but it's really the rock stars that make up the rest of the team that make all of this possible. So make sure that that when you're partnering with us, you're partnering with the team that puts the fun in funding.
Yeah. And even on top of that, when it comes down to teamwork, a lot of people that work with financial professionals oftentimes are just working with one individual when it comes to helping a borrower. When it comes to our platform, what we've developed here, there's over 6 to 7 people working on one individual business owner application at a time. So it's not like when you refer a deal to ROK, you're just working with Tim and Tim's trying to secure that business financing. No, you're actually going to be able to interact with multiple people, and there's going to be multiple levels of employees at ROK that are working behind the scenes to be able to close that deal for both you and your client.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably between 10 and 12 sets of eyes just here internally that'll see every business owner that comes through and ultimately receives funding. So, that's a major advantage back to those that do business with us, because it's not like Tim was just saying, it's not one person whose one bad day can affect your business. That's not the case here. Everybody that's involved is moving this thing towards the ultimate goal, which is ultimately getting towards the funding, right? And we're well aware sometimes funding isn't what's needed, and we'll go over that as well as we get further into this thing. But really quick, a couple things that we're going to touch on today is, how do you become a partner? Do you need experience to become a partner? Is there a fee to get started with us? Which, this is so crazy to me that there's people out here charging for what we provide for free. And they're charging a lot of money. And if you want to earn more money, they're charging you even more. So it's a crazy world that we live in. Maybe one day we'll start charging, but right now it's free.
Take advantage while you can.
And do you need take advantage while you can? I love it. And do you need a business to refer clients? All of this will be covered, as well as many other questions today. And again, we're going to utilize the Q&A a ton. So please make sure you do the same. And as you have questions, you're dropping them in the Q&A for us. So a little bit about us. What is the referral process? What does it look like for a referral partner? Well, we once heard from our great CEO, Patrick Manning, we only need the 3 N's to get your deals done. That's a name, number, and need. If you can provide that to us, we have the system, team, and process built out to take all of your customers from lead to application, from application to approval, and ultimately approval to funding. And in that, all you have to do is sit back and relax. We're going to provide nothing but transparency and insight and into where your customers are and what's going on with that transaction. And then once that transaction is closed, we pay every referral fee the following Friday after a deal funds. So if you fund a deal this week, you get paid next Friday. It's just like a paycheck. So it truly is an ability for somebody to leverage what we've built. And I challenge anybody that does want to become a partner with us after this call to look at yourself as kind of the CEO of an alternative lending arm. And what does that do for you and your business? And what would that look like? Well, that's the question that really matters. That's the one that we want to answer. That's the one that's going to provide the most value back to you. So definitely make sure that as you're going along, you're keeping this in mind. How do I leverage what it is that ROK actually does?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're probably looking at this slide thinking, how could it be this easy? Well, what we've been able to develop and establish here is not only the technology, but the process and the people to be able to make something like this as easy as possible for you. We leverage multiple levels of technology, and don't think that every partner works this way. You can work much differently with us if you chose to. We do like to give the ability for someone that's not experienced and maybe just wants to refer business on the side, the ability to leverage a full service approach. Or if you have direct client relationships and it's someone that you've been working with for a while, you'll be able to be as involved as you wanted. So don't think that this 1, 2, 3 bullet point is how you have to work with us. With our partnership team here, their goal is to accommodate to what it is that you do and be able to give you the type of partnership that you anticipate in working with a platform like ours.
No, it's a great point. We provide what I believe is best in class out of the box experience. But that doesn't mean that you have to play inside of that box. You can utilize as much or as little of this ROK platform as you need. There's plenty of times where we'll customize that approach to fit a specific partnership or fit a specific business model for our partners so that they can still leverage what we have. But it also makes sense for their business. And as I always say, dollars make the most sense, right? So if it's going to save you time, money, and resources, good. Let us do the heavy lifting. You can get involved where you need to. But if you are involved and you are a part of the process, we love that too, because that's going to allow us to work hand in hand and much more closely. So we love all partnerships, big, small, involved, uninvolved. It doesn't matter to us. Like Tim said, this is maybe how we explain it. But if you would rather work it a different way, let's have a conversation, because that's where you're going to see the most value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, trying to change the slide here. There we go. Couldn't find the mouse.
Happens. So why partner with ROK Financial? Obviously there's a lot of different alternative lending companies out there all over the country. And what's, vital to understand is that there's going to be brokers out there that are doing the right thing. And there's going to be ones out there, just like in any industry, that are unfortunately doing the wrong thing. ROK Financial as a company, we're SBFA certified, meaning that we are on an accredited board, Small Business Finance Association. That is that
Administration.
Small Business Finance Administration. And pretty much we on that board actually direct and guide the council for those that put regulations in place for alternative lending. So not only are we a platform that operates within the space, but we're also a part of a council that actually mandates and pretty much oversees all of what takes place within alternative lending.
Correct. Yeah. James, our founder, he sits as the chairman of the SBFA's broker council. So if you want to get into this industry and broker deals and you want to become SBFA certified, James was the one who built that test and what it means to operate as a broker, and be somebody that, is ethical in their approach to this industry. Business funding is one of those things where it's not protected by the same laws as consumer lending. So because of that, there can certainly be a lot of gray area in this. So it's important that you really, really understand who are you working with, what do they stand for, and how do they do business.
Yeah.
For us, we're an open book. Ask those questions and we're going to tell you. But what is it behind that, right? Like when somebody does engage, what is it? Well, honestly, I think the biggest thing on this slide is actually the second bullet point. And it's second only because of how the slide is laid out, but that certainly doesn't make it second. Our relationships, the lending relationships that we have been cultivated over the last 10 to 15 years in business. And I mean, right now, Christina just told me a story about one of our lenders who's in our office right now. And they're a big time player in this industry. They're here from the West Coast. We're in New York. They flew out to meet us and come into our business.
With no agenda either.
With no agenda. The only agenda is strengthening their bond with us. That's why they're here. They want to do more business with us. They want more of our insight and our business. So with that, that's what you're getting access to. You get access to that as a kind of a add-on to the relationship that you have with us. But like what that means is when we hit volume tier bonuses, you get to participate in that. When we're getting special exceptions because we're piloting a program or testing a product for a lender, you guys get access to all of that as our partners, and you can offer this. I mean, there are countless products on our platform that we've either beta tested or are beta testing for specific lenders. And that means that we're maybe one of 2 or 3 brokers, or possibly the only broker in the nation getting access to specific terms, rates, dollar amounts. And again, what does that mean? That means this is all an extension of your business now. Like I was saying before, if you become the CEO of your own lending arm within our business, this is what you're getting access to. So, yeah, the commissions, the overrides and investing, those are all great things. And, like I said, it's dollars that make sense, but ultimately it's going to be those relationships that will set us apart from anything else. And you can ask our lenders and they'll tell you the same thing. The relationship that they have with ROK is rock solid.
Absolutely. And I love to kind of use this example to kind of put it into perspective for you. You're a business owner and you go online and you search business line of credit or you search business loans. You'll find a few different companies that you can apply with. You're going to have to do multiple applications. You're going to have to go through their requirements to see if you can qualify. And there's going to be a layer of 30 to 35 different factors that they don't even highlight on their website that might prevent you from getting financing, even if you think you qualify. So when you leverage relationships that ROK Financial has, we leverage technology, process, and team to be able to facilitate these transactions to the right companies because we know the ins and outs of them, especially the ones we've been working with for 10 plus years now. So not only leveraging the lender relationships that we have, but leveraging the lender knowledge that we have and the amount of time that we've spent in this space facilitating these transactions through economic downturns is only going to be able to further, benefit the clients that you might be working with.
Yeah, I actually have a really quick story. Nick, who works on our sales team, I heard him, he sits right by me. So I heard him on the phone with a customer and I just kind of leaned in to hear what he was saying. And he was walking a first time borrower. So somebody that had never borrowed money in terms of alternative funding before. And they were looking to apply with us. They were just declined at their bank, which is going on a lot right now. And they were looking to apply with us and they didn't really know what to do. And they got to a section of the application, which would seem pretty straightforward, and that's their industry. And they wrote it down and they wrote transportation and kept it moving. And I heard Nick kind of stop and pause for a second and say, hey, listen, I think we should actually update that. So that if, if you're, are we still on?
Someone throw in the Q&A if you can still hear us or see us.
Yeah, we just got
Getting the Prezi back up.
oh, there we go. Lost sound, but you're back now, it says. Okay. All right, we'll get the screen shared again. But just to finish that story up really quick, it's that advantage right there where our team can step in and really provide that insight back to a borrower, back to your customers, right? Where, hey, it could be something as small as that, and I can tell you that this customer did end up getting approved, did end up getting funded. And it's really all because of that little moment right there. So, at the end of the day, it's important that you keep in mind who we are, what we do, and how we do it is through education. So as you have somebody that you're thinking like, should I refer this person to ROK? Do I not refer them like this or that? Well, refer them over and allow the education to do its thing. Allow us to do our job and really dive in and not only help you, but also help your borrowers understand what is the reality of the situation and how can we potentially help them, even if it's just the information that we're able to share.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't bring up yet that likely is going to be brought up later is that when you refer a business to us, the first thing on our mind is how are we going to learn more about this business? Let's get this business owner on the phone. Let's do a discovery or an intro call. And that's really where our knowledge and education of the lending industry and individual industries themselves is going to be able to help you. Because if you don't know what trucking companies are qualifying for with under 600 credit, you're going to leverage our team here to be able to educate, advise, and provide the proper information to help those clients feel comfortable with applying for a program through our platform.
Yeah. And the one thing I want to keep everybody in mind of is we're a broker. We offer 75 different banks and lenders products. like for you to try to keep up with that would take a lot. I mean, we got 85 something employees that work internally plus another 40 external employees. Like, no offense, but good luck. And I genuinely mean that, because it's a more than a full-time job, I can assure you, just to keep up with all the changes and all the insights. And it could just be an industry update over here. I saw a question about trucking earlier in the Q&A, right? It could be something that they update on trucking or transportation, or something that they updated about restaurants. And that could be particular to one lender and one product that lender offers, right? So it's super important that when you're doing this, you realize that it is a situation where there's a lot of information, and money is a situation where you want to make sure you have all the right information to make the right decision for your business. That's what we specialize in, is putting the right information in front of a business owner when they decide on a specific offer. We're going to make sure they understand the terms, the rate, the way that the fee structure works, because again, we want to make sure any decision they make is well informed and really is the right decision. For us, it doesn't matter if you're with lender A, B, or C. We have no allegiance really to any of them. It's not like we're backed by any of them. We don't have any private money behind us, or there's no we're not just here with investment money pouring in. No, we're a small business as well. We're owned by a couple gentlemen that do this every single day. So it's important that you understand that this is why we're built the way that we are, and this is why we then share this information the way that we do, is because this is the market that we are.
Absolutely.
The slide. This is what everybody wants to know. What do we do? Oh, and I'm going past it already. What do we do? Right. So at ROK, we offer a little bit of everything. If you were on our last webinar, you heard all about ROK Commercial and how we offer SBA loans, commercial real estate transactions, asset-based lending, and equipment financing. We're even doing another webinar next week on equipment financing. Specifically, if you want to learn more about that product, feel free to join. But our bread and butter and our core, where we came from, is on the unsecured side, with term loans and lines of credit and cash advances. And these are where we see the bulk of our business. I would say on the left-hand side, you're probably looking at like 70-30, maybe 75-25, depending, but on the left and right here, depending on the month. But that's because on the left side of the screen here, you have quick turn transactions. These are our borrowers that apply on Monday and are funded by Friday. The typical turn time on these deals is like 1 to 3 business days, with approvals in anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours, and is up to like 24 business hours. But then on the secured side, you could be looking at a week or 2, possibly even longer, just for an initial approval. And then depending on the product, you could be looking at anywhere between a couple of weeks for funding, up to 4, 5, 6 months, depending on the real estate transactions and titles and any environmentals that need to be done. So the beauty of what we do is we do a little bit of everything, and by casting that wide net, you can leverage our system to tell you what might be available.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely a mixed bag, and you really never know what you're going to get. And the uniqueness about that is the fact that you never know what you're going to come across client-wise, or who you're going to speak with, or what business owner you're going to come across next that you might be able to refer. So you see all these programs up here, and there's not any requirements around those programs, but that's because if someone comes in for an SBA, but they don't have the credit to qualify, we're going to be able to then educate them on what other products they can qualify for. Now, although we love our partners who are very educated and familiar with our industry, you don't have to be an industry expert. You don't have to have any knowledge of finance whatsoever to refer a business to ROK. So one thing that's important to know is if you do move forward and get activated with us, you'll get all information about all these products. If you just want to leverage a platform like ours in its entirety, you don't have to be an expert in anything that's on the screen here.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. Like Tim just mentioned, it's kind of like Forrest Gump said, ROK is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
I actually have never seen Forrest Gump.
Oh man, you shouldn't have said that one out loud.
Sorry.
I feel like you might have hurt some feelings with that one. That's an all-time great. and you're making me feel old, so stop. So I talked a little bit about technology earlier, and I'm going to let Tim dive in, especially on the my partner side. But what I want you to know is we are totally invested in the technology side of our business. Shout out to Rob and his team of developers. I think there's like 10 or 15 on staff now at this point. But basically, they're all full-time developers that are on staff to make sure that you can leverage our technology. And I fully mean that.
Absolutely. And not only is the platform that we offer free and at no cost, but all of this technology that you're going to get access to as well is accessible at no cost. We leverage things like Salesforce as our mainstream CRM system. Over the past 6 to 9 months, excuse me, over the past 6 to 9 months, we've actually developed a portal experience through Salesforce to give all of our referral partners the ability to feel like an end user in our CRM system. What does this give you the ability to do? It gives you the ability to send your clients DocuSign applications. It gives you the ability to upload documents. It gives you the ability to reach out to advisors that are working on your clients respectively. So at a very base level, just from the portal itself, it's powered by Salesforce, which is one of the largest CRM systems
The
out there.
largest.
You look up CRM on Robinhood or E-Trade, you're going to see it. But on top of that, we give you guys additional resources. We leverage technology through Bamboo to allow you to access all of our marketing material. Christina, Lauren, the team in marketing, they're working hard on different types of blogs, different types of articles, different types of information surrounding these products. If you want to go put that information out to your network, whether it's through LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram, you have the ability to do that. And you can even schedule months in advance. Anybody that clicks on that link that proceeds with an application is going to be accredited to you as a partner. We use Sprout very similarly. Twilio is a very cool technology, allows us to kind of automate a lot of our internal processes, but even more so be able to communicate with clients faster and easier. And again, DocuSign, everything that we do is through eSign. So there's no filling out applications by hand unless you want to. And what's really unique about our platform is that if you do want to be involved and you do want to feel like you're a part of the process, you can send clients DocuSign applications. You can even send them hard copy applications if you wanted to, but we give you the ability to be as involved, or like Tony mentioned earlier, as little involved as you wanted to based on how you want to work with us best.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. Everything that Tim mentioned. You can log into the portal right now, upload somebody that you know needs funding, and get access to a DocuSign application that they could have filled out and be already progressing towards underwriting very quickly. Within that portal, you also get access to dedicated landing pages and a variety of other resources that we'll get into in just a couple of slides here. But I just want you guys to understand how important it is, or excuse me, how revolutionary the technology is, because like I said, yes, we have the ability to do all this, but what we're looking for is to give you that stuff, to give you that access, and give you the ability to help your customers leverage what we've built here.
Absolutely. When it comes to the portal, it's an experience that allows you to also check in when it comes to status of applications. If you finally get off your work at 9:30 at night and you can't call in to someone who works on the East Coast, you can easily log into this to see exactly what the status of your clients are. It tracks things like commission for you. It tracks your submissions, and Salesforce is very unique in its reporting. And it even shows you how many clients you've submitted per week, per month, where those clients went. Everything lives there in live time. The portal is a very small portion of what we do, but something that all of the partners that we work with leverage to be able to facilitate transactions quicker and better communicate with their clients.
No, it's so true. It gives you access to literally everything. You're a user in our CRM. So whatever we're seeing, you're seeing. Anything that you update or we update is able to be seen by the other party. So it's just a seamless way for us to both be working on deals, and ultimately getting to the point where you can track all of your commissions, right? There's monthly, year-to-date statistics. There's a bunch of dashboards. It really gives you a full view into what is it that you've kind of signed on for, and what is it that you've done so far since signing up. So definitely make sure that, if you are somebody that wants to partner with us, you take time to speak with your business development officer and really go into, how can I leverage the portal?
Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about the portal is that there's designated landing pages that are actually going to be assigned to you as well. So if you're somebody that's like, hey, I don't know if I want to refer my client's information to you, I want to give them the option to potentially fill out a form. You actually do have a dedicated landing page that you can market online You can leave in an email signature. You can send to someone directly via text and pretty much say, hey, if you wanted to learn more about this, get a discovery call, learn what you can qualify for. Here's the information to do so. And it's a 6 or 8 field form, very easy to fill out for them to get a free call from one of the advisors on our team here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I always like to include a couple of real deal reviews. And that's because I don't want to brag about these reviews. I want to encourage you to go online and do some research on us and who we do business with and how we do business. If you take a look on Trustpilot, Google, Best Company, or any of the other any of the other review sites out there, you're going to see that not only are we top rated, but we have 5 stars across the board. Or no matter what it is, if it's 10 stars, we got 10. If it's 5 stars, we got 5. If it's 3, we got 3. It doesn't really matter. It's what it really shows, though, is that people have utilized this platform as referral partners, as business owners, and they all enjoy their experience despite what the outcome may be. You'll see reviews from people in there who are like, hey, I referred over 3 customers. We haven't gotten anything done yet, but it's been awesome working with them. And they're super insightful and smart and help me really understand how to do business. You'll see things about business owners who didn't take funding from us, but talk about how they're going to come back in 6 months when they need funding again, because this is the company that's really put it together for them and really help them understand what's available to them. So don't take my word for it, take theirs. Go do your research, compare us to the other companies in the industry and all the other things that you're hearing. Definitely compare, because I know where we're going to land when you do that comparison.
Absolutely. And the reason that we've been able to kind of foster so many of those reviews is that the process that we've built out allows anybody to work with us, right? And then on top of that, if you are someone that isn't 100% sure about what someone in the trucking industry can get, or what someone with challenged credit can get, or what someone who started their business 6 months ago can get, you can leverage our team here in its entirety to help you with that information. Even if they don't move forward, they're going to end that phone call with more information on how they can prepare their business in the future, whether it's funding or just general growth, than they were before they actually reached out.
No, it's a great point. And then just a couple of quick success stories here, guys. Like, what is going on? What are businesses using money for? How does it work? Who's getting funded? Right? We do lending from 5,000 all the way to $5 million on the unsecured side. On the secured side, like, on the commercial side, we're typically like 250K all the way through like 10 and $25 million on the commercial real estate side. For equipment, we're pretty much the same thing as working capital, like 5K all the way to 5 million. But realistically, what you should know is inside and out, we know the products that we offer. We know the lenders that are doing what, and you can leverage that into success stories on my next webinar. So let's make sure that when you refer these businesses, we're on the same page. They're looking for funding. They have a business. They have a business checking account. If they check those boxes, we're a great option for them. And even if it is, like I was just saying before on the review slide, even if it is just as a consultant as first, right? There's plenty of businesses who don't borrow from us the first, maybe even the second time they apply. But then, that next time is when they really need the funding and they utilize it. I would tell you not to wait too long. The rates we're not sure what the rates are going to do. We're not really sure what's going to happen. So make sure that as a business owner or as somebody who works with business owners, you understand that side of things as well, right? What your offer is today is not what it's going to be in 30 days or 60 days from now, or even 6 months. So, businesses change, the lending change, it's all cyclical.
Yeah, it's very true. And I mean, even just to put that into perspective for the position you guys are in, if you don't have a business that you can immediately refer, it does not mean that you should not sign up with us and get started. We have over hours of training on the products that we offer, on alternative lending, on individual industries that's free in our portal. We offer collateral. We offer all different types of marketing materials. So even if you're someone that doesn't have existing businesses now to refer, feel free to still click on the link at the end of this, get signed up with us, and leverage some of the technology and the information that we provide at no cost to be able to kind of better prepare yourself in the future to refer business per se.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, just like Tim was saying, leverage what we have to help you even get going in this. You can leverage some of that marketing material to help drum up some customers. You can leverage some of that training to help put it into your process and help you, kind of insert this if it's something that you've never done in the past. Or you don't have to do any of that. right? You could be somebody that drives traffic across the internet and you're able to really just drive traffic to your landing page and you don't want to know really anything else. That's fine with us too. However you get business, or however you are planning on getting business, that's the route that we want to go. We want to make sure that the system that we set up is around that.
Well said.
So now's the time. Become a partner. Scan this code on your this QR code on your screen, and it will take you directly to the Become a Partner page. Tim's team is waiting for you to reach out. I've seen people in the Q&A, how do I become a partner? How do I become a partner? This is how you do it. You join right here, you get your questions answered, you get your own specialized, your own specific landing pages. Like Tim mentioned, you can leverage Bamboo to drive social media traffic. You can utilize the landing pages. You can upload information directly into the portal. I mean, shoot, you could email us information. You could send smoke signals if you need.
We'll find it.
We will break it down. We'll make sure that you have full transparency on everything. And realistically, we're here to work together. So if you reach out to us, understand we're going to have a couple questions about how you do business or how you want to do business, so that what we're delivering is exactly what's going to make this partnership a success. And that's us working together.
Absolutely. That's pretty much all my team does, is learn more about what it is that our partners are doing and understand how we can integrate within that to be able to help you onboard more clients, better service existing clients. Like Tony mentioned a few times, add an additional outlet to the services that it is that you offer. So no matter what it is that you do, who you are, where you're located, if you have any type of small business focus, or if you go out and you order out on once a week, you're coming across a small business owner. And it might feel weird as a conversation to bring up, like, hey, have you ever needed financing to grow your business? But what's the worst they're going to tell you? No. Obviously, if you have a book of business that you already pitch services to, that you can infiltrate financing to, that's going to be great. But if you're also someone that's starting from scratch, this is the way to do it, because all the tools are there for you at no cost.
We funded a pharmacy for $2 million earlier this summer. I think it was June or July. And we funded them for $2 million. And the referral partner who referred them in legitimately was a customer of theirs that had just walked in. And after joining our referral partner program, he just knew it was a family run place. He had been there a bunch. It's his local pharmacy. He literally just threw the question out there like, hey, how's business? And then that started a conversation around how business was and how they were actually looking to expand and build out another location. And they actually had done well over the past couple of years. I mean, shocker, we came out of a pandemic, so a medical company's doing well, right? But no, the reason that I'm telling you that is because they had an opportunity. This guy was just there to time it right. And he earned commission on a $2 million loan. We paid him over $20,000 in commission. So again, become a partner now, get your questions answered. We can figure out how to work together if you're open to it. And that's the main message that I want to leave you with today in terms of how I feel is, if you're open to it, let's do it.
Yeah. And before we even go into the questions, don't think that you have to come across the small business owner every single day to be a good partner. In fact, we have people that work with industries that service and provide different types of information to business owners that can be a partner or someone that sends you business, right? So like, for example, someone who offers equipment financing or an equipment vendor, they have a bunch of trucks in their yard. They have small businesses going there every single day looking to finance trucks through their yard. If you had a conversation with that individual, or you knew somebody that did that type of work, that's someone who definitely comes across businesses that are unable to qualify 10 times out of 10. So what if you can provide an alternative solution for that one business, that two business out of 10 that isn't able to qualify? We work with CPAs exclusively. When you are going to a bank to apply for a loan product, you're going to need a profit and loss statement. You're going to need a balance sheet. You're going to need year-end financials. If you go to the bank after being provided that information and get declined, they're likely going to go back to that accountant or their CPA and say, hey, what's my next step? Like, where should I go from here? So if you know anyone that's in financial services, merchant processing, accounting, credit repair, business credit, bookkeeping, anything of that service or anything of that nature, I should say, you would want to bring up that by becoming a partner with ROK Financial, you're now offering all of these solutions, and maybe there's clients in their network that can benefit from accessing some of these solutions. And that can be a great place to start rather than going direct to the business.
No, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. So again, if you're somebody that wants to just reach out to us directly, here's a quick phone number, 833 ROKBiz. You can go right to our website at rock.biz, or you can send an email over to info@rock.biz. We're certainly waiting to reach out to you. I know our lead team is ready to rock. I know our partnership team is ready to rock. The question is, are you ready? No, I'm just kidding.
Scroll up. Questions.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the Q&A here. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Thank you to all who have stayed with us for this 45 minutes.
Yeah,
120 plus.
Still over 120 people. We're gonna jump into the Q&A now. If you guys have questions that we didn't answer, now's the time to dump those into the Q&A. I just gotta make this screen a little bigger. Sorry.
Hope we didn't lose the questions when we got off air. I don't think so.
No, it goes back. Perfect. So let's see who had the first question. Somebody shouted out the Bears. I love it.
Someone said referral 2 or 3 level earnings. So when it comes to our referral partnership program, every partnership is different. But what's unique about what we do is that you have the ability to increase that revenue share percentage that you're going to be granted as you grow your relationship with us. So in essence, there are multiple levels of earning because as you work with us and as we see success, you're going to continue to be paid more through our revenue share program. But there's essentially no, there's going to be goals to be able to get to those higher numbers. And then depending on what it is that you do, we're going to be able to set those goals with you. So yes, technically there are multiple different levels of earnings.
And just for quick clarification, did you mean like multiple levels in terms of like tiers, or did you mean multiple levels in terms of like, hey, if I refer somebody else to be a partner, do I earn on them? And then if they refer somebody else, I just want a little clarity on that. That was Andrew that had asked that question early on. So Andrew, if you don't mind and can provide a little clarity, I just want to make sure we answer your question specifically.
Is there a market for trucking? Lines of credit and MCAs, do they all require a minimum of 3 trucks?
I mean, no, that's not necessarily the case.
Single owner operators.
Yeah. Even recently here, as tough as it has been for the transportation industry, as long as they have a business checking account, they're generating revenue, and they can afford a payment. Affordability is really the biggest thing. As long as they can afford the payment of the loan they're looking for, we can certainly help. We also provide equipment financing to the transportation industry. So if somebody is looking to buy a truck or trailer or expand their platform a little bit, we can certainly get those deals done as well.
Yeah, and to put that into perspective, when we grew our platform, our goal was to help the common small business that banks aren't going to be able to help, right? And it first for us came down to industry. So we targeted all the industries that banks didn't like, even if you did meet their sales requirements and their credit requirements. And those industries came out to be trucking and transportation, small and medium construction, whether you're a specialty contractor or you're building commercial buildings from the ground up. Retail businesses that don't own their collateral, someone that just rents or someone that doesn't have any equity in any commercial collateral. And then, kind of outside of that, some industries like staffing, industries like manufacturing have taken a few hits here and there, but really any industry that's going to just see decline from the bank because of their industry, like someone in the cannabis space or someone in the CBD space, those are all the types of industries that a platform like ours is really designed to assist.
Yeah, I mean, we have no industry restrictions, and I've seen deals done in literally every industry, from very, very large ones to very, very niche type deals. We have the ability to really understand what is it that a business is doing and what are the options that might be available. All right. So the next question that we have is sorry, this scroll is
going a little crazy.
Yeah, the scroll's going quick here. Trying to slow down. There's the trucking.
And one thing for you guys to know as well is even if trucking companies had a challenge time with getting lines of credit, let the experts on our side be able to take care of that conversation for you. A lot of times, even if someone doesn't meet the revenue requirements, but they meet the credit requirements for a line of credit, they may be able to get a line of credit and vice versa. Someone that has a 610 score and a line of credit requires a 615, but their business does $1 million a month, they may be able to make an exception for us and be able to still provide that type of client, that type of product. So know that when someone comes to you, if they say, hey, I don't have X credit score and I know this product requires X credit score, there's going to be a multitude of different offerings that we still may be able to have for that borrower being a marketplace.
No, it's totally true. Do you have any training to get leads to the landing page? What a great question.
So, I mean, it's going to be a little tough when it comes to training around marketing. Obviously, you do have to have a site developed to be able to drive traffic too, but there are some people that'll start with Facebook ads, start with Google ads from scratch and literally market their landing page And anybody that fills out that landing page is then being reached out to by our team, packaged, approved, and closed. So in regards to marketing strategies, it's a little tough for us to understand how to assist without knowing what it is exactly that you're marketing for or marketing to. But if you scan that QR code or if you apply to be a partner, one of my guys on my team would be happy to kind of discuss any types of strategies that they know, or if you want to call me directly, contact information was shared.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I would say is the same thing is, that's a almost a trick question, because everybody might look at marketing a little differently, right? We actually provide 2 landing pages, which I want to point out. Everybody actually gets access to 2 landing pages. One is directly to refer business owners over. The second one is actually if you know anybody else that wants to be a partner, right? And you can leverage both of those pages. I've seen people utilize the landing pages in email and text campaigns. I've seen them utilize it like Tim was talking about in paid advertising. I've seen people utilize our landing page in their blog efforts, and they'll use it in terms of SEO marketing. So it really depends on what your cup of tea is or what you're really kind of thinking. I would also tell you, don't reinvent the wheel. If you already have a process or something, some way that you're marketing,
Let's integrate
great.
with that.
Yeah, great. Let's integrate it with that. Like Tim just said, that's exactly what we want to do. We don't want you to be doing too much. We would rather it be something where you're able to leverage, our team and what we've built, so that it's not something you don't got to go crazy trying to figure out.
Absolutely. So what are the lending conditions? So this is definitely a loaded question, being there's over 80 different lenders in our marketplace that could potentially qualify a business owner that comes to us. But in regards to minimum requirements, as Tony mentioned a few different times, you do have to have a business bank account open. Secondly, you need to be generating sales in your company. Typically need to add an absolute bare minimum 5,000 per month. Preferred and most lender standard is 10,000 per month, but that's not net income. That's just total sales, total gross deposits that you're making into your business account. So in regards to conditions to qualify, you're going to need to be doing at least 5 to 10,000 per month and have a business bank account open. And then in regards to the conditions of the products, we have some terms that are as short as 5 to 6 months. We have some terms that are as long as 36 to 48 months, depending on the industry, depending on the time in business, et cetera. So one thing that's really unique about our platform is in that discovery call, we're going to go over expectations around term and rate and dollar amount with the clients before they have to apply. So it helps them get a better understanding, and at least helps us be able to understand if we can, meet the expectations or meet what it is exactly that they're looking to accomplish.
It's a great point. At the end of the day, when a business owner applies, what you should know is ROK's whole system is designed, like I was saying earlier, around the education of that business owner and really making sure that any of the decisions that they make are well-informed decisions. They've gotten to where they are in their business because they've been the decision maker. We don't want to come in and say, hey, this is what you're doing. No, in fact, we have a calculator experience that our ROK calculator gives you and your customer the access to every offer that they have, and basically can go in and customize that approval to be exactly what that business needs. It gives the power back to you, to the businesses you work with, to really customize what it is that's being offered essentially to meet your business needs. So it's important that, again, you understand our whole system is designed around you guys and the success of your relationships with us through your customers.
What size business funding options do you work with? So as Tony mentioned earlier, we'll go as little as 5,000. We can go as high as 5 million. But I do like to think that a core sweet spot for a platform like ours is going to be someone that's requesting anywhere between 50 to 750,000, maybe even 50 to 500,000. That's where the majority of lenders that are in our marketplace are going to be able to facilitate transactions within. But if you have a request, regardless of the size, regardless of the nature of the business, we're an outside of the box lending marketplace. So we don't work with the traditional borrower. We work with the business that may have a few hiccups, may have things that have happened in the past, may have cash flow challenges, so on and so forth. So anything regarding loan amount or rate or term, BDO or the business development officer that you're working with is going to be able to kind of guide you in the right direction on each application or each borrower that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And Roger has an awesome question here of, I have a solar installer with 6.2 million in revenue last year, seeking 300 grand. They've been in business for 12 years and they need business, and they need the money in the next 5 days. Is that something we can do? It's a core client, Roger. We'd love to see that deal.
So banks don't like solar. Banks will typically leverage equipment that solar businesses have, but if they don't own any equipment outright or they don't have any collateral, solar is a really tough industry in regards to banking. When it comes to a platform like ours, it depends on what type of solar they're doing. If they're doing the construction or the installation of the panels, if they're doing the distribution of the panels to different areas, once we learn a little bit more about that client, we'd be able to kind of give a better idea. But absolutely, a business that's doing $6 million per year is definitely going to be able to qualify somewhere in that 300 to 400,000 range, just based on revenue alone. Typically, with this style of lending, you see approvals around 10 to 15% of your annual sales or your annual revenue. So if you have a business doing 10,000 a month or 120,000 a year, they'll see 10 to 20,000. You have someone doing 500,000 a month or 6 million a year, they might see 500 to 750,000, really so on and so forth up to 5 million.
Which categories, I'm assuming this means products, typically close quickest?
So we have credit line programs here that require no additional documentation outside of a online verification where that client logs in and draws from their funds. So we've had multiple clients come to us with payroll needs or immediate vendor payment needs that need to be made. And the quickest access to financing is through an unsecured line of credit product through a platform like ours. Now, product wise, lines of credit are oftentimes going to be the fastest, but if someone needs 500,000, there might not be an unsecured line of credit available that could come to that dollar amount. So we do have other programs that are available, and it's really all going to be based on the borrower and the client's motivation as to, hey, we can close this today if you can get us X documents, or we're going to have to close Friday if it's going to take you the rest of the week to get that information over.
You know, you bring up a really great point that I don't think we touched on, and that's you don't just need to qualify for one product, right? Like we have business owners all the time that come to us with a plan, right? Hey, I want to do XYZ in my business. Well, XYZ might take lending product A, B, and C to get done. So you'll see that we'll time things up with a line of credit, a term loan, and a commercial real estate piece, potentially using the SBA, right? Like, so we'll really, we use the term deal structuring internally, but we'll structure the deal so that it's not just one deal or one transaction, but it could potentially be 2, 3, and 4 referrals that come from just one business that you refer to us. So, understanding that, again, our system is built to make sure that your clients and your customers are taking full advantage of the entire platform. If somebody takes a $100,000 line of credit today, that doesn't hurt their chances of getting approved and funded for an SBA loan in the next month or two. So I just wanted to make sure we touched on that because I didn't see any questions around that. And I don't think we mentioned that.
No, and even a business that does qualify traditionally can still get access to financing through a platform like ours if the alternative need was there. So we subordinate directly to SBA, we subordinate to direct lines of credit through banks. So if anyone does have access to bank financing, they can still access financing as well through an alternative platform. How does my portal show team members in their deals? So Andrew, I'll make sure that the partnership rep that you're assigned to reaches out to you as soon as we're concluded here. But essentially what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to double click the business name, or there's actually going to be a little I for information that's going to be right next to that business name. And when you click on that, you'll see your client's information, you'll see the business development officer's information, and at the bottom, you'll see the direct advisor on the sales side who's working with that business owner as well.
Yeah. So if you click through that list view, like Tim was mentioning, and into that direct opportunity, that's exactly the way that our CRM works. You'll have a list of opportunities. When you click one, it pops up all that information. It works the same way for you guys. If anybody in here is familiar with Salesforce, it's the exact same approach. We have leads, opportunities, accounts, and they all work exactly the same. So, we can certainly walk you through what that experience is like. And, as you're working with us guys, the best thing that I can tell you is stay engaged, ask these questions, learn the process. Back when Tim and I used to work directly on partnerships together, we always used to talk about a few different stages, but the most important one being the onboarding stage. And we would challenge the partners that we signed up or were working with to challenge us, to make us feel like, hey, we got to work this thing to get your business and your partnership where it needs to be, right? If you tell us everything's hunky-dory, you don't ask the questions, we're not able to give you the information you need to be effective, right? The more information you give us or vice versa, we can both be effective with that information. So definitely want to make sure that this is one hand washing the other, but both washing the face.
Absolutely. Walk us through the steps after someone fills out the form on our affiliate landing page. Are they given offers? Are they automatically contacted by an advisor or both? Thank you. Fantastic question, Stephen. So someone's going to fill out that landing page link that's coded to you. Within about 30 minutes to an hour, as long as it's during business hours, they're then going to be assigned to an advisor on our team. Not only is that advisor going to be assigned the opportunity, but the business development officer that works your account is also going to see that that referral came in, right? They're going to then reach out to that client, do the discovery call, give them an idea of what's going to be available. If that client then wished to proceed, we would then take the next steps, collect the documents, and everything's going to update in your portal to reflect that status. There's 10 different stages in our portal. The business development officer that you work with will be happy to explain all those with you, but that's pretty much how you're going to be able to track where each client is at within their respective process.
Love it. I'm actually going to skip a little bit towards the bottom because we're running out of time quickly here. And I don't want to miss any of the questions that might have been pouring in the Q&A as we were going through some of these.
Janique, absolutely. We do loan programs under 300 that in some cases don't require a tax return if the financial strength of the business can support it. When we request tax returns, we're not looking for very large margins. We're not looking for very large amounts of net income. That's what the bank's looking for. We're typically looking to confirm a start date or see ownership in the business. So if you have someone that has losses on tax returns or has behind on their tax returns, and that's what's preventing them from getting access to traditional financing, this is a good fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see a question in here. If we refer over an accountant, would we get commissionable overrides on their sales? Absolutely. Any partnership that you help us set up, you would certainly be compensated for any of the fundings that come through that partnership.
And you can leverage our team to be able to give education back to that account and how we can better assist their clients. So one thing that you should take advantage of is when you do refer a professional individual over to us that wants to be a partner, you're now putting them in the hands of someone that can explain from A to Z exactly how we work with accountants in the past and make it a lot more relative for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I see a question about, do I get my own affiliate link? Absolutely. And there are certainly videos on how to utilize that. In fact, if you are somebody that is utilizing or looking to utilize that affiliate link, you might want to write this one down, and I'll make sure that we echo this in the post email. But you should probably look into a URL shortener, something like Tiny URL. That's what we utilize here internally. Some of our large influencer partners utilize the same tool, but what that does is it helps you manage where your link is posted. And if you ever had to change that link on the back end, you would only have to change one link within the Tiny URL, and it would update all subsequent links on the back end. So just a little bit of a marketing tip for you there. If you are somebody that's looking to utilize that link and landing page, as much as I would love to see you do that, I want to make sure it's done the right way. So if you have questions on that, again, ask your BDO. I made sure I did a long training with them on that, so they better be able to answer your questions.
Yeah, and Andrew, it sounds like you got a lot of questions as well. I'll make sure that the business development officer that you work with here connects with you as soon as we're done to get all your questions answered. I know you got a few. How can I use Bamboo? Is there a cost? No, Sergio, there's no cost. You'll be able to kind of leverage everything that we have together, and you can put it on any social media that you want, that you connect to Bamboo. I'll also do the same for you and make sure the business development officer you work with reaches out to you for that.
I'm gonna fire out some answers here. Does ROK offer financing to service businesses? Absolutely.
Specialty contractors are our favorite.
I have a friend who might be interested. Great, Bill Hubbard, refer him over. Bill Hubbard's been a partner since like 2016. Shout out to Bill down in North Carolina.
Do you lend in the cannabis industry?
Absolutely. We lend in the cannabis industry. How do I get the ROK calculator? You refer us a business that's approved and you will get the calculator. That's for sure. Jason, that came from you. If you're already working with somebody and you're already working with us, feel free to reach out to them and they can make sure that you're getting that as well. Can I get a copy of the Zoom? Any registrants will get a copy of the Zoom. Absolutely. I see a lot of repeat questions here, guys. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I want to make sure that everybody's getting the meat and potatoes out of this thing, and we're really giving you guys some good information. It seems like we got a lot of repeats.
So I see a lot of questions about startup funding. So with our platform, a startup to us is someone that's generating no sales currently. We can work with as little as 3 months in business. We can work with as little as $5,000 per month. If you have someone that doesn't have any sales yet, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to help. But one of my go-to questions is always, hey, I know you're looking to start a new business. Do you have an existing business? So if you're speaking to someone, they're looking for startup funding. If they have an ancillary business that they operate, they can get access to capital against that business and utilize it for a startup, even if the ventures are completely different from one another. So if someone says the word startup to you, I would say first things first, confirm if they have any sales. Second thing second, see if they have any other businesses that you could potentially leverage to get access to financing to that they can then utilize in that startup.
So I see a really great question here that I definitely want to make sure we answer. It says, are we able to assist businesses nationally, or are we regulated to our particular state? And that's a really great question, because regulation has crept into this industry in the past couple of years. Like if you're somebody in California, you have to have a California broker's license to be able to talk about funding at all. If you're somebody that's in Virginia, New York, Utah, Georgia is about to drop some legislation. California's dropping some new legislation.
Virginia.
Virginia, I said.
Oh, sorry.
That was one of the first ones. But no, if you're in any of those states, you have regulation going on within your state. We're well aware of all of the regulation that's taking place. In fact, some of the technology, like the ROK calculator, was developed in order to alleviate some of the things that were going on with this regulation. And what I want you to really understand is, being a referral partner of ROK, you're not the broker. So ROK is the broker for you. You're not in that broker seat. So any regulation doesn't technically apply to you. You can drive us the traffic and allow us to be the broker for you.
Correct. Yeah, you could be in any state, and you could be in Colorado and refer a business in North Dakota, and you don't gotta know anything about North Dakota's lending guidelines because that's already covered by ROK.
And you could be in anywhere. We have partners in the Philippines, in Romania, and South Africa, all over Europe. I mean, we even have sales reps in Europe these days. So, business is done internationally. We're well aware. We do only fund businesses that are in the 50 United States. So as long as you're working with businesses that have a US checking account, and they are operational, we can certainly help. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for joining us. We still have how many attendees? Over 100 attendees. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for rocking out with us. Again, thank you to our Rockstar team for making this thing possible. And we certainly look forward to rocking out with you guys on our next webinar. You can catch us next Thursday, same time, for an equipment webinar if you're available. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Thanks, everybody.